A very important text for understanding the intermediate state is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 13 to 18. Here, Paul says that living Christians should not grieve for Christians who are asleep. For when Jesus returns, God will bring with him those who have fallen asleep in Jesus. At that time, the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. This text shows us two significant things about the intermediate state. First, dead Christians are now in the presence of Christ, since at his second coming he will bring them with him. This simply confirms the conclusions already drawn from Luke 23 verses 42 to 43, Acts 7 verse 59, and Philippians 1 verses 21 to 24. When Christians die and enter the presence of Christ, they remain in a disembodied state until the second coming, which is a later event. Verse 15 clearly states that the time of Christ's return is the time when the dead in Christ will rise. Example, will receive their resurrection body. Another text is 1 Peter 3 verses 18 through 20, which says that after Jesus was put to death, he was made alive in the Spirit, in which also he went and made proclamation to the spirits now in prison, who once were This is a notoriously difficult passage, but it seems to confirm an intermediate state in two ways. First, it speaks of Jesus as being alive in the Spirit in the brief time between his death and resurrection. His human spirit was separated from his body, Luke 23 verse 46, and was able both to have fellowship with dead saints in paradise and to announce his victory over sin and death to the lost in Hades. Second, the spirits now in prison probably refers to the wicked dead, and the phrase shows that in death they exist only as spirits without body, and that they are conscious since they are the audience for Christ's proclamation. That the spirits of the wicked dead are now in prison may be explained by 2 Peter 2 verse 9, which says that the Lord knows how to rescue the godly from temptation and to keep the unrighteous under punishment for the day of judgment. The phrase for the day of judgment shows that Peter is referring to the unrighteous in their state of death, because he says their condition persists all the way up to the judgment. That they are conscious is seen by the fact that they are experiencing punishment. This punishment must be an interim experience, since it precedes the final judgment. What Peter says here is consistent with Jesus' description of the condition of the rich man in Hades. Luke 16 verse 19 to 31.